So we'll be talking about that a bit later on. We're going to start by talking about Everton. They sit rock bottom of the Premier League now after losing their opening 2 games of the new season. The Toffees boss Sean Dyche has been speaking to the media ahead of his side's game against Wolves on Saturday. He said it's too early to panic.
Words keep getting thrown around, crisis and all these bad noises and negatives. It's just the way Everton's been for a number of months, years even. So it's our job. I've said it recently, I said it in pre, I said it at the end of last season. We have to change the story. It always starts on the pitch. It always starts with me and the team changing the rhetoric, changing the field, changing the story. We haven't done this season, but we're 2 games in. You can't measure a season on 2 games.
You can't. Wolves is a massive game for them. The one after that in the Premier League, Benty, is a fascinating game. That's away at Sheffield United.
I know you said you can't say crisis, but they've won 2 in the last 13 games. They've been battered. Well, not battered. The first one was probably a little bit unlucky, and they should have had a goal, but the referee made a decision. But honestly, big club, got nothing wrong with the club. Likes on the players, nice place to go and play football.
Yeah.
It used to be an incredibly difficult place to go under David Moyes.
Uh-huh.
But every next season, you get sick and tired of seeing it. Every season, 16th, 17th, 20th. It's at the minute they're 20th. I remember when Ancelotti was there and they finished 10th, and I remember thinking that was a crisis. Thinking, how can you have Ancelotti? You brought in James Rodriguez, all these players. You finished 10th. I was like, that is not good enough. They would snap your hand off tomorrow to finish 10th again. They're nowhere near us. Every single season. I'm sick and tired of seeing Everton fight relegation. Because eventually,
what do you mean sick and tired? Explain. What do you mean?
Because at some stage you've got to have a go.
No, but why are you, as a football fan, an Arsenal fan, why are you sick and tired of seeing
Because every season, you want to see clubs have a go every single year.
Yeah.
And not every single, be happy to, a little bit like Norwich do. Norwich come up and you know exactly what's going to happen, don't you? They're going to go back down.
Yeah.
Everton a little bit, they're a massive football club. And I think what annoys me a little bit about it is that there are a lot smaller clubs that come up to the Premier League and do so much better than them. And they seem to just stay still. Like, when are they going to start moving forward again?
If you could decide whether or not you want to see Everton go down or stay up, what would you choose?
I'd say stay up because they're a big club. Like, unbelievable. I used to love playing there. The old-fashioned big stadium. I went to go into the new one, actually. But at the minute, they've got to find a way of progressing. Recruitment's been appalling.
Recruitment has been utterly appalling.
Their league form's been appalling.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't quite know what Everton have become the last few years. They were always a big club. Under David Moyes, it was so easy. They were always up there. Going to Goodison Park was so difficult. I'm telling you, no change. Like Jagielka, Distan, Leighton Baines, Tony Hibbert. Like, who was in goal? I think it was Tim Howard in goal. So hard. They had Leon Osman. They had all these players that it was so tough. You'd go there, you go, phew. Nowadays, people are just going there and just taking 3 points like it's nothing.
Sean Dyche said it's way too early to hit the panic button.
Way too early. It's been 3 years.
But with him then?
But okay, I get that. But you can't say it's too early because this has been bubbling. Frank Lampard.
You're right, but it is too early. I mean, you can't get rid of a manager after 2 games in the Premier League.
I wouldn't get rid of him. But I think you have to be a little bit more realistic to say that it's not just, it's too early. Because this has been happening season upon season upon season.
But you always look at a fixture list and you always go, that's the game, right? Now, Wolves, I think it's going to be an interesting game because Wolves can't. They can play as long as they can finish because they can't really finish Wolves. That's their problem. So I expect Wolves to win that game, and then it's, as I said, Sheffield United. And if Everton go into that still looking for their first win and don't come away with a win, I think that's when all of a sudden
panic stations.
Yeah,
do you know what?
That's when you press the button.
The Everton fans who obviously pay their hard-earned money, buy season tickets, go and watch the club. They can't enjoy what they've been watching for the last 3 years. They must be like,
it's longer than 3 years, isn't it?
Well, no, because a couple of women they finished. 3 years ago, they finished 10th under Ancelotti. Surely Everton fans now are like, I'm sick and tired of watching this. You must be.
Do you think any Everton fans want to see their club go down to rebuild? I was listening to one on H&J and he said maybe a couple of years ago we should have gone down.
Yeah, no, not now because we've got a new stadium to pay for. They've got to sell out the seats. And also, there's no guarantees with this football club at the minute that they come straight back.
Can it ever work for a club to go back down, to regroup, to rebuild?
Yeah.
And it can. That can be the right thing to do for a club, can it?
Well, you look at Aston Villa. They went down, spent a bit of time down there, finally got promoted, and they've been high-flying ever sinse.
So it can work, right? Sometimes the right thing for a club can be to get relegated.
I never think the right thing for a club to do is go down. I don't believe that. When people go, maybe we should go down to rebuild, I don't think that's the right terminology. But at times, if you do go down, you press reset, you go again.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.